So I'm going live a little early today because I have a call at 9:15 that is really, really important, having to do with publishing my new book. But I wanted to jump on a little bit early so I can talk to you a little bit about this whole concept, the concept of the before and after of anybody dealing with you or with me. You know, you think about how short of time you have on this earth. And while you're on this earth, it just seems to me like we should have some kind of impact. And I guess the older I get, the more it's important to me to impact people rather than things. And I was thinking about the before and after experience that people have working with me or working with my company, whether that be my children or my wife or my clients or other colleagues. And it made me realize that relationships are like the most important thing. And I know this sounds so cliche, but it's so true the older you get. So I spent a lot of my career really analyzing, doing numbers work and doing analysis. That's kind of been my standard MO most of my career. But as time has gone on, I realized that the biggest impact that people have had has been really listening to them and whatever creativity that I have innately, trying to help them with something that they're working through. And they wind up doing the same thing for me. And then everybody is enriched. And the whole world becomes a stronger, more bonded place. And I started thinking about a meeting I'm about to have tomorrow that's talking about packaging. Because one of the things that can happen in business, as you probably know, is that things can get too complicated. We live in a complicated world. And in the investment world, things are extremely complicated. And when you have regulations, they get even more complicated. So one of the things that I've been working on is simplifying so that we can multiply. So simplifying what we do to those core essential things that people really value and get value from so that we can do more of it and impact more people's lives. And that requires us to package. So we've gone through every single step of what we do and say, okay, everything that we're doing for a client, is this actually having some transformation that is going to say, before I did this, I was here. After I did this, I was at a better place. And it's amazing how many things you could just take out of your life because of that. And I'm applying this to business, but this also applies to life in general. So if you say, before I do something, what is the impact that I want to have? It doesn't mean everything in your life needs to be impactful, but there's a good part of your life that probably should be. And I'm speaking to myself, really. So we're going through, okay, what is that value chain, if you will, when somebody first interacts with us, identifying and prioritizing objectives, that's helping people get clear. So usually people start off with, I'm a little bit unsure, the markets are a little bit complicated, there's a lot of financial rules, I'm not sure which direction to go, but then there's this clarity that says, this is really what I'm trying to achieve. Once that happens, then you can go, okay, on to the next step. Here is where I am right now, here's where I want to go, and then you start solving solutions. So that's the next part of that value chain. What are my strengths? What are my obstacles that I have? What are some of the dangers that I have that may derail what I'm trying to accomplish? And for each one of those, how can we capitalize on your strengths to do better? How can we create strategies to overcome obstacles or even eliminate obstacles and eliminate the dangers so that your strengths are maximized to get to where you want to go? And then so when you're done with that process, the after part of that is, now we have a clear strategy. So first it's like, I'm clear about what I want. Now it's, I have a clear strategy, and it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. So I once heard a saying that clarity is a process. It's not an instant. So it takes time sometimes to get clarity, but as you move towards the process, you get clarity. So that transformation of going from not knowing what you want to knowing more of what you want to actually saying, okay, here's where I am, and now here's some things I should be doing. That's a big transformation that literally changes people's lives pretty darn dramatically. And then another part of that has to do with just investing. The experience that we have as an investor sometimes can be quite treacherous, right? Because markets go up, markets go down. And when you have a buffer, when you have an advisor that has processes that deals with the ups and the downs and tries to capitalize on that, and then to minimize your pain experience given your risk tolerance, that is a huge win because that gives people a smoother ride towards their objectives. So the before unit before that tends to be, I'm just writing, I'm kind of a slave to the market. I'm writing up and I'm writing down. I'm writing up and I'm writing down. Instead, you say, okay, we're going to have a glide path that is much smoother. We're going to appear to be, we're going to look for the investments that appear to be more attractive relative to risk. And we're going to blend them in a way so that we have a smoother ride. That has a tremendous impact on people's lives, their ability to sleep at night, their ability to move on with their life and not worry about every single detail. I'm bringing this up just for because I think this applies to everybody in their life. It could be something as simple as when I'm with my children. Before I see my children, I'm driving to school and I'm going to pick them up, say. I want to pick them up from school. And what is that experience when I'm driving them home? What's it going to be before they saw me and then after they saw me? Is it going to be something that's going to be helpful for them? Is it going to be something where we bond more, or is it going to be an argument? And if there is something that we need to have some conflict in, is there a way that we can resolve that conflict without there being some significant negative impacts on our relationship, that we actually bond? So I think that's a really good way to think about life. So you have these stages that you're dealing with in your life. And if from a business perspective, you want to name the stages, you want to name, what each stage is, so that when you put a name on it, it becomes something that's real, that your team understands, that your clients understand, that it's a real transformational process that we're trying to achieve and that we will achieve. So you want to be in a position, if you're in business, where you are telling people, you basically have to have the attitude. I once heard Dean Jackson say this, that you want to have basically the thought that I'm only going to do stuff. What would you do if the only thing that you got paid on was for a result that you actually achieved? So if you only get paid for a result that you actually achieve, then you are really, truly adding value. What are those things that are truly making somebody better off from when they first started talking to you, from when they stopped talking to you in that particular engagement? So I think that's a big thing, this before and after, and what kind of impact are we going to make on people that we talk to and we engage with every day. So rather than just saying, I'm just going to have random talk, and there's time we have to have random talk, having a little more purpose to say, before somebody talked to me, they were in this state. After they talked to me, they were in a better state. And if we all did that, we kind of rub on each other and make each other, polish each other, shine each other up, and we are all better off. So that's my message for today. I'm going to sign out early today because I have a call at 9:15 that's really important that I need to take. I hope you're having a good day, and I wish you well. Stay healthy. We'll talk to you later.